football, baseball, basketball, hockey, racquetball, billiards, all of these sports at some point over my last 55 years I've enjoyed or participated in, but I gotta tell you, there's one sport that I never, ever got my head around, never found an appreciation for, and that was cycling. Particularly British cycling. But as I was doing my research, my homework, and writing this presentation for you today, I learned some things about the British cycling team. British cycling team had a small run of not very good luck. You see, from 1908 until 2004, the British racing team had won a total of 2 gold medals in Olympic Games. 96 years, 2 gold medals. You're in charge of British cycling, it stands to reason that you would like to make a change. And if you're going to make a change, you probably need to make some wholesale changes. Enter this gentleman, Dave Brailsford. Well, actually, Sir Dave Brailsford. Now, you'd expect, if Dave Brailsford is coming into an organization and that organization has only had 2 gold medals over the course of 96 years, you might anticipate he's going to shake everything up and do it in cataclysmically large chunks of change. But that's not the case. What Dave Brailsford did was focus on 1%. His quote was, "Find a 1% margin of improvement in everything that you do." 1%. Now, with the understanding that my knowledge of cycling, with respect to any cyclists in the audience today, is minor, let me give you some examples of 1%. Let's first take a look at the helmet. Well, is the helmet properly insulated with something that would kind of wick away the moisture? Is it aerodynamically sound? When I cut through the wind, will I cut through appropriately given the speed that I'm going over potentially hundreds of miles of a road race? What about those goggles? Are the goggles of the right UV? Will they fog up after I start sweating sitting on that bike for all those miles? I gotta find gloves. I gotta find gloves that are dexterous enough for me to operate the various components of the bike, but at the same time allow me the right protection. And then those handlebars. 1% improvements. What exact angle should those handlebars be at? And what's the coating on them to make sure that I can hold on, not slip off? I've got to put on these booties. These booties fit over my cycling shoes to make sure that the wind slips away. You want to talk about 1%? Let's talk about that water bottle. Let's not just talk about the water bottle, let's talk about the rack. Does the rack allow me to put the water bottle in and take the water bottle out? Is the spout on the top going to allow me to take a smooth drink while I'm going 30, 40, 50 miles an hour down the freeway that is closed to traffic while the road race takes place? And oh, what's inside the water bottle? Is it Gatorade? Is it some special concoction that they put together? But see, he didn't stop there. Dave Brailsford, in looking for 1% improvement, looked at things like, what kind of pillows were the team sleeping on? You stayed in a hotel room last night. I stayed in a hotel room last night. How closely did the pillow that you slept on mimic your favorite pillow from your bed at home? And how much does that influence your sleep? And if you're supposed to be high performance all the time, what about if you, as British cycling, took your pillows with you that would optimize your cycling? He even went so far, did performance coach Dave Brailsford, as to say, let's look at how the team washes their hands. What antimicrobial soap do they use, and how frequently do they wash their hands? Because if you wash your hands frequently enough, you keep germs away. If you keep germs away, you get sick less frequently. If you get sick less frequently, your performance does not get impeded. He called this the aggregation of marginal gains. And this is what the aggregation of marginal gains looks like. It says that if you can find 1% improvements over extended periods of time, your overall performance will increase. Think about your wholesaling practice. You think about your wholesaling practice and you say to yourself, well, if I can find aggregation of marginal gains, small improvements over a day, a week, a month, I might see the meter start to move. But if I find enough 1% improvements, aggregation of marginal gains over a longer period of time, a quarter, a year, 5 years, I really get to see the needle have meaningful movement. Conversely, if you've let your practice falter by 1% in any week, not a big deal. You could argue 1% over a month, not a big deal. But if you have 1% decline in improvement over the course of a month, a quarter, a year, you'll see significant deterioration and you'll fall on the leaderboard amongst your peers. Aggregation of marginal gains, 1% improvements.